Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited to share this lot I just got off of Facebook Marketplace from a very nice seller local to me. She had it up on the marketplace for a while, and I finally pulled the trigger on getting it. And I'll tell you about the price and the value of everything at the end, but I want to first say thank you to the seller. I don't know if she'll ever see this, but that was pretty awesome to be able to get these from her. The entire lot here is figures that I've never previously owned. These 3 bags are all Marx, and this is of course Space Warriors by Airfix. So this is vintage 1981, pretty awesome. The colors in the box are great. The box itself is in pretty poor condition, but I've wanted this set for a long time. I've had my eye on a few auctions on eBay, but never really pulled the trigger. So this is very exciting for me. This is probably the thing I'm most excited about, but I want to go through each bag one by one and show you what's inside, and we can kind of review everything and look at it in real time together and decide, if there's anything in here worth painting. So I do have these 2 Marx Native Americans that I painted. This one is one of my favorite things that I've ever done, just in terms of like the overall look. I love the inset pupils. No matter where you turn the figure, it looks like he's looking at you, which I think is awesome. I love the subdued color palette. I love the tan skin. I think he just turned out really fantastic. And I did start painting his little buddy here, and I see more of this in the bag. But you can tell from the bottom that these are not reproductions. These are actual original Marx figures. Some people hate that I paint them, but you're on a painting channel, so I guess you're just gonna have to deal with that. So we'll go through the Indians first, I think, because there's the most of them. I don't know, 32 and 29. I don't know if she said that the number isn't exactly accurate, so we'll count them up as we go. We'll go through and take a look at everything. I'm wearing gloves because I don't know what the condition of these is going to be like, if they're going to be dusty. What is very exciting, Friday's coupon. What is very exciting is that the seller did mention that they have more for sale, like more in their basement, and they're going to send me pictures. And I don't know what that means. She said she had to go through and look at everything, and she's going to send me pictures, see what I have. Maybe it's more plastic. She said there might be some metal. Maybe that's like old lead figures. I don't know. So let's just give these guys a good old shake. Oh, it's so many Indians. Here we go. All right, this bag's probably ready for the trash. It looks pretty worn. All right, so we got the totem pole, which is awesome. It's an awesome piece. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit and bring down the light so we get a bit more better contrast on everything. So we got the owl and some faces, and it looks like an eagle of some sort. Owl. I'm not sure what the lineages of these. I don't know if they're supposed to be representative of man and an animal, maybe the wide mouth. I don't know. So I don't want to misspeak on anything. This does not have any Marx branding as far as I can tell. There's nothing on the bottom. So let me know in the comments, is this actually a Marx figure? I don't know. I believe all these figures do have the Marx 1970. No, Marx Toys, it's not a number. These all do have a Marx stamp on the bottom. So you can see here, I'm going to bring the contrast up. So we'll go through, I'm going to find all of the guys with bow and arrows kneeling first. Here we go. You know what? I'll just use magic and we'll sort these things out. How about that? And boom, just like that, through the power of editing, got them all organized. You can see everything, like got some duplicates, some triplicates, and a couple there's times 4, which is awesome. And then of the 30 pieces we have here, 6 of them, including, if we include the totem pole, are unique. The guy that really surprised me as I was organizing these is this guy with, I believe this amounts to what is essentially, and I apologize if this is incorrect, this is a peace pipe, or something that would be smoked around a campfire. It does resemble a pipe very closely. You can see the bowl here for inserting tobacco or other herbs for smoking, and there's a little feather there. This is really awesome. His entire sculpt is really unique. I've never seen the Indian sitting down. I could definitely see this being problematic. I will not be painting this guy. I don't think. He seems like he's probably pretty rare, I would imagine. So there are of these guys. There's this other guy holding a rifle. I believe he's the only one holding the rifle in this set. This guy's awesome. He's got some pretty gnarly flash hanging off of his foot here. So that's just something to consider or something to take note of. There's this one guy who's wants to ride a horse. No horses were in this set, unfortunately, but he is pretty awesome looking. He's got real smooth skin. He's got amazing face detail. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Check out that face detail. Beautiful, beautiful detailing on the feathers, the little sculpts on the feathers. Does he, and his marks, he doesn't have a Marx symbol. So he's similar to the totem pole where he has no identifying mark because he doesn't have a base. So I guess in some instances, Marx just did not imprint their brand into the figures, but he looks excellent. This guy's bow and arrow. This is pretty common for these things not to be connected in my experience. This looks like it was a problem in production, but again, great detail on the face. He looks like he's charging into battle and he's angry. He's got this really neat little mace here. This is excellent. He's got the Marx impression on the bottom. There's also this guy who's taking an arrow to the abdomen, which I just now am noticing. So that is excellent as well. That's an awesome piece of detail for this figure. It looks like his face has a lot of anguish in it. It's like, oh, he definitely got him. So maybe from a rival clan, or maybe a hunter mistook him for a deer in the woods. Just really awesome. There is 4 of these guys. The faces on these guys look really small compared to some of the other faces. Just looks scrunched. Him more so in particularly. But yeah, beautiful necklace on his chest here. Nothing crazy in terms of detail otherwise. Some intricate feathers on the headdress. Pretty awesome, this guy. So I already have one of these, like I said, partially painted. You can kind of see where I took it. Didn't want to overpaint the markings on the forehead, but a very cool figure. I think mine is a bit more damaged. The feather is curled up more. I guess the Marx imprint can be different orientations because they're facing different ways, so it's not always the same. These are reversed. So it must just be the way they produced them. It's very cool. This guy kneeling with the bow and arrow looks great. I really love this pose. Looks like he could be hidden. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna zoom in. There we go, get rid of a bit of that fisheye look. Another guy with a bow and arrow shooting. For the most part, the bow and arrows, the strings on the bows are all intact. They look really good. The faces look good. There's no weird, like the seam lines, the mold lines are really clean. Everything on these looks great. I can see why Marx is like a really great brand for the time. Like these are excellent impressions into the plastic. The mold lines are very minimal. Like this, I think this might be one of the more egregious ones, but he's got, oh, this guy's pretty brutal. I'm streaking the thing. I'm going to assume that this is a scalp. At first I thought it was a fish because it looked like a tail here, but that is very likely a human scalp. So that's pretty metal. That's pretty brutal. You know, they like this guy, the pipe, the arrow in the side. These are definitely the details that make these toys what they are. They really give them a unique layer of history to them, whereas you really don't find people making toys with that level of savagery and violence in them. for mass production and aimed at children, right? So you can still get pretty detailed and violent toys, but they're usually marketed towards an older age group. And I think that's what makes these unique, right? Is that parents would buy these for their little ones growing up in the 70s and 80s, and there really wasn't too much thought about it until things got. I think it really was the advent of the toy commercials on TV and things like that. That I'm sure there was always people kicking up a fuss about violence throughout toy history, but I was born in '86, and it was around my generation's time where the FCC started to become much more critical of what was being put on television, and we also had like the commercials had to be like for a time there you weren't even allowed to advertise to children for certain kids programming, and just a lot of parents were in an uproar about putting things on TV and in front of their children that weren't aimed at violence. So these are an interesting piece of toy soldier history. I mean, there are lots of them here, so I'm more reluctant to paint the single miniatures that are more unique in this sculpt. I'm going to do some more research before I do anything, just to check the rarity of these, but I think these all look really excellent. This is the one I painted already. It's cool to have more of them because he was wonderful to paint. He really painted up quickly and easily, and it's a lot of browns. I didn't really do the back because I was so focused on making that face look real. That was my focus, and I think he has a lifelike quality to him, especially with those inset eyes that they all have, where the eyes just follow you. It's so cool. So this guy I missed. Any violent details on him I'm missing? I'm not really seeing anything off the top of my head, but I do like that he has his hair sculpted in the back rather than just being flat like this guy. His head is flat. This guy actually has his hair braids sculpted through his back. I also noticed that the impression mark on this figure has a slightly less recessed Marx branding on it. So cool. All right, let's check out the next bag, which I believe is Civil War soldiers, and then we'll look at the pioneers. Okay, so again, this bag labels Marx 32 pieces, but I'm really not sure how many are in here. These are Civil War soldiers. They say Louis Marx Co. That's 1967. I believe these are 1967 toys. Okay, so this is I gotta say, this is a beautiful lot of figures. They are in fantastic shape. There is the issue of the sword with this guy, but that could probably be fixed. I mean, it is very flimsy to begin with, but here, let's zoom in. It is very flimsy to begin with. He has a bit of dirt in the recess of his chest here, but overall, it's just a little bit of flash. Great face sculpting on him. The detail is, I mean, they're simplified soldiers. They're very smooth looking. They have good impressions for the detail and the quality. Like the quality is very high. I'm not familiar with these. Like some of you probably are very familiar. So if you have any information you want to share, please drop it in the comments. I'm just kind of going through. I guess I do have two of these guys. So this is a better sword. This guy's sword is actually very pointy as well. It's a much better sculpt. So there are no, I thought this was a unique figure. There are no unique figures in this set that I have in front of me. I have at least two of everything. Two guys shooting on one knee, two guys running with their handguns. I love this guy being shot. That's a really awesome detail with the gun flying up in the air and the hat coming off of his head. What an awesome sculpt. The shooting, I have four of these guys. A couple of them are a little dirty. They're not too bad though. I mean, this guy is the dirtiest on the underside of his arm here. That would clean up really easy, I think. His gun is a little woo too, but for the most part, super clean. Like my nose isn't itching handling any of these toys, so that's always a plus. It's got 2 buglers. They look great. I kind of expect like his face to be smushed the way how flat he is in terms of like a sculpt, but he's proportionate and he looks good. Little bit of trouble here with this ear, but this one is in much better shape. The gun is a little bit more wonky here. There's this. Let's go over here. So there's these 3. Of the 3, this guy's gun is the straightest. The others are a bit limp, but he looks good too. I just imagine if these were being recast today, they'd all be like just super smushed, because I've seen so many cheap recast army men that I keep thinking of them, but then I turn them to the side and their proportions are pretty good. These are nice, however, they feel like very like springy. They're the most springy of the bunch, just because whenever you have a figure balancing on one foot, they get this very springy action. But has a little bit of a John Wayne face to him. No, I guess not that bad from my perspective. But now in zooming in, he doesn't really look like John Wayne at all. I love these marching guys. This one is probably the best of the bunch. His gun is not warped at all. So it's like, seems like out of every little set, there's one that's really in like high quality condition. I love the simple uniforms on every one. They look great. That guy's probably the best of this group. Yeah, again, this guy with the sword, super nice. This guy reminds me of the Airfix Cowboys set. There's another figure that kind of looks like him. I don't have it in front of me, or I'd pull it out, but you kind of see some similarities to that. Maybe I'll find a picture and throw it up. There's these guys kneeling too. Very minimal flash on all of them, which is great. A little bit of a like plastic piece connecting that gap, this gap under here. That's very common though. This looks like maybe he's an officer, or maybe he's just on patrol in the camp or something. He's got a really unique look to him. One of these is probably better than the others. Yeah, they both look really good. Very minimal flash on the arms and in between the legs. Very nice. Then this last guy, this guy's like at ease, I would assume that pose is called. They look really good. They all are pretty consistently. They have good consistent pulls across all of them. I love the mustaches. They look like they'd be really fun to paint. Cool. All right, great. Yeah, these are great. Let's go look at the Pioneers now. Okay, as I had mentioned, this is the smallest group. This is the smallest set. It says there's 11 pieces. Let's take a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, true to the package's word. All right, so right away I can see that the guns on these are all kind of all over the place. I love this neon green color. It reminds me of 90s Ninja Turtles. I don't see any markings on the bottom of them. These are lower quality, especially with the flashing on the face. So yeah, and just the quality and the impression of the weapons and the cloth as well. These look like they probably are not genuine Marx figures, probably recast, maybe Chinese, I don't know. So we'll go through them quickly because they are not that impressive. The guns are all over the place. The quality just isn't there. They are fun poses. I love this guy. He's probably driving a stagecoach with the whip, right? He's seated. And there's a couple of guys with swords for being on horseback, but they also don't have like the same great impressions. Like they don't have very good impressions like the other sculpts did. And these probably would be still paint up fine. There is enough detail if you can clean up the flash. Unfortunately, this guy has some flat, like a mold line running right down the center of his face, which is giving him a very asymmetrical look. But, with some time and some proper cleanup, they probably could look pretty cool from a very basic standpoint. This guy's a bugle in his hand. He almost looks like a samurai. Looks like he has a top knot of hair on his head. But yeah, you can kind of see like the mold injection is much more squished. So yeah, my guess is that these are not at all authentic. I would be very surprised if they were, but they do not look at all authentic to the other ones that we have shown so far. And there's no mold impression at the bottom. So pretty cool, nice for having. I love the color. I love that like neon limey green, and I think they're cool to have. And when I'm thinking about what I got for everything, I think these are nice, like almost like a throw-in, like a nice gimme extra thing for the price. So, which I'll talk about after I go through the main event here. So this box of Space Warriors is what I've been like itching to get to. I'm almost glad that I can get to them a bit quicker. Let's talk about them. Right, okay, so like I mentioned, box is in pretty rough shape, but the colors are really vibrant for the age of this box. It is copyright 1981 and it's 2025, so these are 44 years old. Let's just jiggle them on out of here. The box says that there are 14 figures, and I know Airfix is pretty good with. Oh, there's a piece of paper in here too. Authentic paper. Oh, the Airfix Modelers Club. I've purchased some other used Airfix vintage products that also had similar advertisements in them. So it's cool that this is the test of time as well. Usually that stuff gets tossed out pretty quickly. So quick glance at these. They look awesome. A couple of them look a little dirty from the back, but let's count what we've got here. I don't think that these guys are meant to. I don't know. Let me see if there's supposed to be like a certain count of each one. This one certainly looks like there may be 2 unique characters, and the rest are maybe meant to be villains or something. I don't know enough about the Space Warriors line. If you know anything about them you want to share, I would love to hear your stories about playing with these, or just production history of this particular line of toys. I'm sure I could head over to Toy Soldier Nostalgia's channel and find out more. Jerry always has great information on these products. These 2 are the unique sculpts, which I imagine these are meant to be our protagonists or our hero figures. I don't believe that these are based off of any kind of a movie or anything. I think they're just meant to be cool science fiction guys, but maybe I'm wrong. So reading the back, it says, just if desired, figures can be painted. To ensure a clean painting surface, it is advisable to wash with detergent before using colors. For painting, use Airfix paints. I use Viejo, but made in France. And Space Warriors just seems generic enough to me that these are probably just intended to be generic Space Warriors for fighting each other. But I love that guy is all gold, and this guy almost has like an Aquaman color scheme. And he's got this very like Greek pantheon uniform with just all this exposed skin for getting hacked at with this laser sword. So let's look at the male hero first. I think he would just paint up beautifully. My intention is to paint these and make them look rad, even though they are classic. There's enough of them out there that I wouldn't consider them extremely rare or expensive. No markings on the bottom. Airfix doesn't really do that from what I can tell. I've never seen any Airfix figures with impression branding on the bottom. Very minimal flashing and molding. Like there's a little bit right here. Could probably clean up a little bit. Very fun, unique laser weapons on both of them. I think they look great. Then the bad guys, so these look like they would be like guarding a door or something. They look awesome. I love that they're painted gold on the box, like I mentioned. Maybe I'll do them in different versions of gold. Maybe I'll try some true metallic or non-metallic metal on them. That could be a really fun challenge. Then there is, I don't know what, I guess when I see more, right, like these guys almost seem like they're elite soldiers with their helmets. They have a bit of a bounty hunter Boba Fett vibe to them. Same with these. These almost look like they're painted in green and gold here, which reminds me of Aquaman from the Marvel comics, or DC Comics rather. I'm so sorry, DC Comics. But they also have a Battlestar Galactica vibe. I'll throw up a reference so you can see what I'm talking about. The helmet looks like Battlestar Galactica. These guys look like they have these death frisbees. They could potentially even be good guys. Like they look more like good guys because they have the rounded helmets. They have softer features, but also weapons. Like maybe they are ancillary characters that fight alongside the heroes. So it's like the heroes' backup troop choices, and then these guys look like more villainous, sort of like throwaway soldiers. You'd have like an army of these guys. It also gives you more of them. So it's like these three would fight these three, and then our heroes would fight the more elites that are up here. They look like they're bad guys. I mean, these guys could be considered elite good guy units. They could be they could fight alongside our heroes, right? And be more elite. So then you'd have the 2 elites and 5 versus 7. That would give you equal good and bad guys, except the bad guys have no elite soldiers. You could also have these 2 squaring off. They're facing each other. Maybe she's bad, maybe he's bad. Then you could split them up. But then you'd have more bad guys. So that's also something to consider. But I always like an underdog tale. Maybe it makes sense to have one of them going against more or less. So maybe these 2 fight the rest, and they're really outnumbered. So lots of narrative options for storytelling with a set like this, given that I don't think there's any backstory behind them. But I'll look it up. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll definitely share it in the comments if I find more information or the description. So yeah, let's get everything out and we'll kind of look at it all, and I'll talk to you about the price of everything. So here's everything I purchased in all its glory, and the grand total for everything was $35, which I think is pretty cool considering I've seen Space Warriors sets selling for at least that on eBay for a long time now. I'm not really familiar what the other sets sell for, but I'm assuming that it's probably around the same. So I think I did pretty good. But these are gonna stay in my collection for a while. I'm gonna probably pick and choose a few of them here and there to paint up things that I have duplicates of, and maybe I'll leave the single guys like this awesome guy smoking a peace pipe alone so he can stand the test of time as a unpainted piece of plastic. But I thank you everyone for watching. If you want to see more toy soldiers, if you want to see more painting videos, more toy reviews, please drop me a like, subscribe. Let me know in the comments section what you want to see me review next. If I can get a hold of it, I will. And thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.